Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back for another game review. That's right, 2 in a row. Today, as you can see from the header down below there, I'm going to be talking about Age of Blood and Iron, the core rulebook. There are 2 volumes to this, and I'll do the second volume later on. Maybe Friday, maybe Thursday. We'll see. I'm not quite finished reading it, but this is by our good friend Doc Flamingo. He sent me this, so I am going to be brutally honest. Normally I pay for things like this, but he wanted me to review this as soon as possible. I know our good friend DM James also did a quick overview of this, but I did my due diligence. I read the whole thing, and I'm also going to have Doc on the show, just one-on-one, him and I. Maybe we'll make up a character, or he can, respond to some of my questions that I've come up with over the course of reading this book and the other book. But let's get into it. I'm going to start with reading the back of the book so you guys get his words. ABI is a role-playing game based on the European Middle Ages, designed to be highly modular, allowing the GM and the players to fine-tune the experience to their perfect level of complexity. From rules light to high crunch, it's your world, you decide. Combat can be light or low lethality, with wound effects incorporated or not, as suits your taste. Whether you like hack and slash or combat simulation, ABI fully supports it. You can even switch seamlessly between the two, with detailed combat rules employed in important battles and stripped down system for dealing with lesser minions. The book also includes tournaments, mass combat, naval warfare, and sieges are all covered, as well as rules for managing armies, ruling fiefdoms, trade, and intrigues between noble houses. It's a classless, skill-based game where life path character generation allows for the creation of experienced individuals, GM-defined power levels reflecting the nature of the campaign, from common everyday folk to mythic heroes or anything in between. The game utilizes a 2d6 versus target number dice system that is intuitive and applies to virtually all actions, so it's easy to pick up, and almost anything players might think of is covered by simple, straightforward rules. Come test your mettle in an Age of Blood and Iron. Now, you guys may notice I was stumbling here. Doc fixed this. You guys might not be able to see it, but this half of the text is done in a more shaded color. This is brighter yellow, where it goes into a darker orange, and as I was reading it, my own shadow was covering and getting in the way of my light, so it was harder to read. So lighten that up. There's no need for it. Considering all the other places that you kind of skimped on the artwork, all of the artwork is, I'm guessing, stock photos, free usage sort of things, a lot of ancient woodcuts and things like that, which is not bad, but for me overall it's a little uninspired. I know when you're working with a budget and the budget is zero, it's tough to do. Folks like Joshua from Total Party Skills and others have struggled with it, and even if you go on Fiverr or something, find somebody who can you know, get you, one image per 20 pages. Mind you, this book is cruising up on 350, including plus character sheets and stuff like that. Not too thick, but my friend Justin, he said if it's more than 80 pages, I'm not reading it. Me personally, I don't mind the thickness, but the margins are kind of big, and I think, as you can see there, you can cut some of that, and sometimes the pages are rather scarce with information, like when you did the character things over here. If you're not going to fill it and you're just going to leave it blank, throw in an image. At least it makes us feel like there's less to go through. I think with a little bit of different formatting, you could get two of the character templates on one page. I'm going to come back to some of the things I don't like, but I want to hit up some of the things, the basics, things that I really don't have an opinion on either way. Well, actually, the tri-stat system, I think it's a little too broad and vague. You only have 3 stats: mind, body, and spirit. 2d6 to determine the number, how good you are. However, seeing as how things like dexterity, strength, and endurance all fall under the body stat, that's a little too vague. You're going to end up with characters that are all, either super perfect or weak in one category, and all of them follow suit. And that's not the way humans are that I know of. I know lots of people that are, big and strong, but have, all the grace of a Mack truck, or people that may be charismatic as hell, but their intellect or wisdom, if you will, are, in the dump. So I'm not a big fan of that, but I do love the life path generating system, very along the lines of Traveler. I'm curious if Traveler influenced you or not. I've always thought that concept from Traveler on, having a life path where you get to decide when your character's done being rolled up, and the past being rolled up for the character, and you get to decide, well, I want my character to be in his 30s, so he's seen some shit, and you get to roll every 2 for however many years it is per term. And then, of course, after each term, you get some bonuses, some extra money, things like that. And sometimes in a game such as this, money can mean the difference between everything. You start out with 40 silver versus 400 silver. What you can do with that money, we are tool users after all, being humans. The more tools we have, the more we can do, the more situations we can get out of and into, unfortunately. So I really like all of that. I like the 2-die roll against a target, number to succeed or fail. I like that you didn't go in too much to the levels of success or failure. I hate that. You either did it or you didn't. For me, it's not, how many successes. It's, were you trying to do something incredibly difficult that literally just makes the target difficulty harder? And if you succeeded in doing the crazy hard thing, and that's its own reward. You shouldn't get rewarded because you randomly rolled, this number or these numbers of successes. I just don't like it. It makes everything too random and gives you the benefit of the doubt, or bonuses where you weren't even trying to get them, and now you've got to waste time trying to describe, all these extra gimmies that you got because you rolled 2 or 3 successes when you only needed the 1. Otherwise, the whole game is incredibly thorough. Like it says on the back, it covers everything you could possibly need when dealing with a medieval European setting. This is great for players who want to play something in the Arthurian theme, or Charlemagne, or even if you wanted to play something a little more sword and sandals without the sorcery or the magic, which will be covered in book 2. I wish there were a little bit more in the way of creatures and things like that. But again, those are probably in the monster, or the second volume that has monsters and things like that. let's see, take a look at my notes here. The wide variety of character options in the way of it says it's not a class-based system, but it kind of is. It's just not a level-based class system. There are barbarians and rogues and knights and blah blah blah, all the different kinds of professions, and once you start playing your character, you pretty much still are that thing, you know, that type of profession, but you don't really go up levels and get more hit points. Considering you do start out with a reasonable amount of health points, and you get to pick some skills and bonuses and quirks and things like that that I also appreciate to fine-tune your character to get him to be a little tougher. And you know, all of this I'm going to let Doc discuss on, you know, and show me where I'm wrong, or elaborate on where I'm right, or elaborate on anything that I've missed. A couple of the other things I didn't like, besides the art and the spacing, in the other book, there as much as, I mean, it's much bigger. It's like almost 200 pages thicker. I would have liked more magic items and more monsters, but for this book and maybe the next book, I don't know, but an appendix, an index, an appendix N would have been wonderful to get an idea of what you were shooting for. I think over the years, the inclusion of an appendix N, that being, you know, like the equivalent of the bibliography, the books that helped inspire you, the movies, the TV shows, things like that add flavor and help the GM to, you know, if they're inclined to go through the things that you've listed, gives them an idea of what you, not only what you were shooting for, but the flavor and the theme, and what you believe personally is feasible in this kind of a game system. But maybe, you know, if you decide to make a second edition or revised edition, or go back through it and tighten things up, or add some things based on any of my suggestions, or maybe even DM James's suggestions, or things that you've, you know, come up with through play testing or anything like that. I know that a lot of us are in a hurry to get our product out there as soon as possible, but timing is everything. But sometimes, you know, taking a little more time to get all the things included in the book make for a better book. But would I play it? Yes. Would I run it? No. If Doc ever invites me to a game of this, absolutely, I'm going to make up hopefully a character this week or next with him, and if he invites me to the game, I will definitely jump in, provided my schedule allows, and that it's not going to be a long commitment, because I just don't have the time for anything like that in my gaming schedule. I'm pretty booked. I'm going to do some new things this coming back from my little hiatus. So that's what I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you pick up a copy. But Doc, if you're going to do any revisions, take it off the shelves until you do that. There's nothing worse than getting a book, you know, from a brand new published product, and then finding out 3 to 6 months later there's a new revised version coming out. Talking to you, Miguel and Sylvia. Next time I tell you I'm gonna do a book, let me know if you're gonna do a revise. Oh man, every book I've gotten except Uncharted Seas and one of the others, the new one I'm getting, you've put out a revised version shortly thereafter, and I now I want both. And what am I going to do with the old copy? Hand it off to somebody, then knowing it that it's got mistakes in it. But that's just my 2 cents. I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope you guys go out and enjoy this game, especially if you're, you know, not fans of the class level up kind of stuff that's going on. Bo and his group, I think you guys would really dig this book. It does a lot of what you guys seem to enjoy without, you know, having to resort to GURPS. But that's my 2 cents. Again, I will see you guys later. Until then, have a great rest of your week, a great weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow for the book club. And until then, happy trails.